Hi everyone. I'm doing the astrology for June 2018. And once again, I apologize. I know it's a little bit late, so some of this has already passed. I'm kind of doing this at the middle of the month rather than at the beginning of the month. But I just had all sorts of logistical challenges as this astrology hit. And I'm finally at good internet where I can upload this. And so now I'm going to be doing it. Okay, so take advantage of the first 3 weeks of June because it will be a long cycle of review and reflect as multiple planets go into the retrograde motion and we begin the eclipse cycle of July and August. If you can start things and get them finished before this full throttle reversal hits you, you will be well ahead of everyone else. Maximize the forward progression while you have it. Know that the intense summer begins on June 16th and goes all the way through September 10th. Emotionally, this is going to be heavy for some of you, and you need to stay as calm as possible and know that each of us are still adjusting to the major astrological shift of Uranus and Taurus. We're still trying to get our footing, and I have noticed that my sleep is, well, different. Disrupted sleep seems to be the norm, and we are all adjusting to this new position of Uranus and its connection to Neptune and Pisces. While Uranus in Taurus is grounding for some of the chaos, it is also signaling some major shifts in the world financial systems over the next 7 years. What that is going to look like is anyone's guess. We look at the Bitcoin energy, we look at the stock market changes. Honestly, it's going to be interesting, just like in the last major shift. If anybody had thought at the last major shift that the Islamic Revolution that started in Tunisia would expand into full-blown ISIS, nobody would have believed it. So, it's again one of those things that I go, we know that Uranus and Taurus affects the financial systems in the world economies. We know it affects the banking systems. We know it affects the rules and regulations around those banking systems. But where that's going to go is anybody's guess. And on one level, Uranus in Taurus is much more stabilizing and grounding because Uranus in Taurus is like a lightning rod on a house. And the lightning, which is Uranus, hits the rod, but it goes into the ground. And so it doesn't have the same destructive pattern that it had when it was in volatile, fiery Aries. So I'm going to keep a positive mind and a positive attitude towards this, okay? Now, there are two major aspects to watch for this June of 2018, the first of which is already being felt for many of us. There's a quintile between Uranus and Pluto, and it has the effect of strengthening the influence of these two planets and will aid in the process of transformation that is deeply needed in the world and in our lives. Then there's a heavier aspect between Saturn and Uranus, which will be felt through the middle part of August 2018 and will result in situations of tension and more irritability. Yeah, no, I heard that sigh. I mean, it's like, my joke about the summer is that it just feels like a shit show when we look at the astrology. Not only do we have pretty much everything going retrograde, but we also have the eclipses in the middle of all of it. And then we have a Mercury retrograde in the intense, powerful sign of Leo. And it's just heavy. I mean, it's just heavy. And then we're dealing with all of this eclipses, the first eclipse that is on July 12th in Cancer, which is in opposition to all of the Capricorn energy and all the winter energy that is happening astrologically. So, my joke is that we're playing the Game of Thrones, and it's kind of like winter is coming, winter is coming, winter has come. And Saturn is in Capricorn, winter planet. Pluto is in Capricorn, winter planet. Neptune is in Pisces, winter planet, winter sign. I should be saying sign. And then Mars is in Aquarius, winter sign. So there's this heaviness over in the winter signs, which is very frozen and locked up and kind of irritable and gloomy. And so try not to fall into the hopelessness of all of that. So I know that everybody keeps wanting this astrology to be over. I keep looking in the astrology for a moment of a relief, a moment of relief, which we just don't seem to be getting. And so please don't feel that I'm trying to make this happen like this. Like, trust me, I am like Miss Optimist. I am not trying to make this kind of energy happen. But it is really difficult, and it's just heavy. I mean, and so try to keep your financial systems balanced. Try not to overspend or overdo, because we don't know what this Uranus and Taurus, how it's going to affect things. My concern about it is that, we're going into this trade war, with all the other, countries. And that can affect our bottom line, our bottom dollar, our exports, our ability to spend money. So I don't know, because I'm not the financial expert, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Okay. So know that this astrology is sort of global. So it's not just us. Okay. So, I know there's so much happening right now that everybody is thinking it's all me, and it's all us. And I go, no, it's actually global. If we step out of our little bubble, we can actually see that this is affecting the whole entire world on a lot of levels. Okay. So try and stay loose, stay flexible, and stay on your own center. Now, the sun's identity is in Gemini until June 20th, and then it will go into Cancer. And Cancer is in opposition of all that astrology, like I said a minute ago, Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn. But when the sun is in Gemini, it's a little bit more whimsical, fun, gregarious, lighthearted, communicative. Connection and fresh ideas tend to be driving you towards change, which is going to be so helpful right now. So I'm like, thank goodness for the Gemini energy, to kind of try to lighten this energy up. But when the sun goes into Cancer, the focus shifts to family and making the most out of your family situation and making all things related to your home your priority. Yet that is opposing Saturn, indicating that you might feel like you have to work for some new structure in your life. You want a better life. You feel like you're not getting anywhere. You're still in debt. You're just holding the holding pattern. So you finally feel like what you have now is just finally not enough. You're getting tired of getting the short end of the stick. And there is a passion that gets ignited inside of you towards the end of the month. And you're going to feel a bit all fired up, and you cannot seem to calm down. And you want to use this energy because we're not in a boring time, because there's going to be a lot happening sort of all at once. Now, again, I wrote this article whereas at the end of May, even though you're just getting it now. And so now at this point, I'm looking at what's happening in the world, and I just go, that makes more sense now. I mean, there's a lot happening in the world, and there's a lot that is passionately lit up. All the things happening with immigration, with the children being taken away from their parents, is very much going to trigger all of this Cancer energy that's showing up, even though we're not to Cancer yet when I'm doing this video. But it's actually already happening. It's already starting to happen. It's getting people all fired up, like, hey, family is important. You cannot separate children from family. That is not okay. And it's finally kind of igniting something here. So on one level, personally, you want to be with your family, and you want to take the time to pursue the things that support your family in a more joyous way. Yet the opposition of Saturn and Capricorn, which is really serious, brings in this kind of viewpoint and practicality that is very grounded in its application. It's like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? Stop sitting on your ass. Like, what are you going to do to make a difference in the world? That's the question. So Saturn wants you to get back to work and get things and structures in place that protect family and home. Now, in this case, I'm saying maybe it's finally igniting everybody to want to protect others' family and home rather than just yourself. I mean, but you have to look at it as, if we don't protect others that are weaker and don't have the money and the opportunity, and we don't stand up for the weaker people, eventually it's going to be us. Eventually, the people in power get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they actually take over us. And so you have to stand up for family. You have to stand up for children. You have to stand up for women. Otherwise, society and civilization collapses. So needless to say, this is a game of balance, meaning that you have to have some fun with your family, and you also have to do what's necessary to get to work, make the money, pay the bills, be responsible as a grown-up, do what you're supposed to be doing. You might feel that you have a fear that all the good things in life that you believed you were promised by being an American are passing you by, and you are not wrong in that, okay? So you don't want to get stuck in the routines of survival yet and never have any fun. You need to know that, yes, there are things to worry about, but you also need moments where you're not worrying. You need your life to have moments of joy. Life is constantly fluctuating. And, even in the midst of war, people still get married and have celebrations. You have to do the things that make life enjoyable and worth living. You have to kind of do something that's positive to change the tide. And sometimes, and in some signs, I'll say like this, some signs under these aspects are going to feel very profitable. And like, especially the last 2 weeks of the month, like things are going really well for them. And hey, if that's you, roll with it. Do you know what I mean? If that's you, just know that you might be in your own little bubble because of the astrology, and not everyone is having that same experience. All right. Until the end, until the 6th of June, there was a lot of healing that was very important for everyone on some deep personal, karmic, and transformational level. That healing was happening, especially in family, understanding yourself and understanding who you are. And it was a time of deep inner contemplation. There are changes that you need to make, and your consideration is to do things that serve others or the greater good, which is going to be really helpful under this astrology. Now, ideas are finally moving, and you will see your moods sort of in a new way. You might want to dive deeper and do things that pull you away from the day-to-day grind. You are going to have to focus more. Don't let your moods drive your behavior. You will want to feel more comfortable in your money reality. You want to feel as if there's something, that you can do to get the things that are missing to not be missing. You're going to feel like you need something. And that something that is missing will become more and more important and more imperative for you to figure out how to get. In order to get that, you're going to have to change. And you're going to have to figure out how to change to find that. It is clearly where you are in this moment. You are becoming more and more aware of the subtle vibrations. The personal planets want you to feel happy, but you need to see what is pulling you out of the experience of happiness. And you might find that you are calculating many equations in your head trying to answer that. You have a lot of steps to do before you have the tools and pieces that are essential before any real congruent action can happen. There's a lot of pressure to really shift and finally feel good. There's a lot of grounding in the middle of the month. So you will have to find where you personally stand in the world. Don't let your head get out of control. Meditation is going to be really essential. Exercise even more so. This is a time where we have to really deal with our body. It's a good time to do cleanses and healing practices and massages and things that help your physical health and your well-being, because you cannot escape the reflections of those in your life as a part of your personal healing journey. That's just the way this naturally goes. Now, some of this astrology has already passed, and I know it's already passed, but I'm just going to throw it in here because I did write this a month ago. So in June 8th, there's a real sense of wanting to express yourself creatively, even to help someone you don't know. On June 9th, there is some confusion about work and what the direction you need to take is. You want to progress, but Uranus is mucking it up, and there is going to be some challenge showing you that you need to realign your ideas to get to the goal you want. You may have a door closed that you hoped would remain open. Don't panic. It's going to be okay. Let it go. Trust and see what manifests next. The question on June 10th to be asking yourself is, shall you be comfortable, or should you take control over your physical circumstances? You want to make some changes, whether those are around your eating, your home, your garden, etc. You need to connect to a greater power of your own understanding. Then you will know what is the bigger thing you need to do rather than the small things that kind of create busy work. On June 12th, Mercury enters Cancer. Your memory is improved during this transit. Emotions have the most important role in decision making today. You will really want to get your point across, but Saturn is pointing out that work opportunities are available if you are willing to stand up and communicate where you are at and what is the next thing you are moving towards. You have to move towards work that has a deeper meaning to you and how you are the person for that particular job. This is a great day to create something on a more solid ground. It must be something that has a long-lasting impact. On June 13th, the new moon in Gemini and the sun conjunct the moon in Gemini. This is a good day to start studying, or at the very least, you should start reading a new book. You can also use the energies of the new moon to make some changes and do something new and different in your life. It doesn't really matter what. The moon is very dark, so that this is the point that you're trying to pull the energy in a different direction. But what is the direction? You want to speak from an emotional angle about what you feel in your heart, your visions for yourself, or your spiritual path. From this point forward, the communication is going to get much more complex and murky, so be careful who you confide in totally over the next few weeks. On June 13th also, Venus enters Leo. It's going to help you become more creative, and you will see creative potential in others. You will enjoy going to concerts, to the movies, to gallery openings, to being with your friends. Venus in Leo makes you love luxury. It's a time to socialize and network with others. Your work is shifting and you're going to do something different, and now you feel you are on the path, and it will help you realize your bigger end goal. Also on June 13th, Mercury in Cancer sextile Uranus and Taurus. Before this day, Mercury, the communicator, was interested in bringing out the new idea, but now Cancer is in a much more interesting, talkative place, and it's important in your relationships and in your home to have those conversations. You want to be more nurturing and loving. It wants to put others before yourself. All of that is good. Now on June 14th, Venus begins to move out of Cancer and into Leo. It is attempting to be very loving towards other people and wanting to do something for the greater good. On June 15th, Venus in Leo squares Uranus and Taurus. Venus is the spotlight, and when she's in Leo, she's kind of this stunning energy, but she's opposing Mars in Aquarius, and Mars is interested in innovating and making a difference in the world. He's not really interested in the selfish indulgence of Venus's mood. She wants extravagance, and Mars would rather just move now. You might want to have friends and family over for barbecues. You may also find that in your work, you find value in what you can accomplish. There's a square in Jupiter in Scorpio and Mars in Aquarius, causing a little bit more friction. So Mars tends to win when it is confronted on multiple planes of existence, but a lot of progress might finally be made in a critical area. So that's also good. Now, the other thing here is that on June 16th, Uranus semi-squares Neptune. Mercury is in Cancer, opposite Saturn in Capricorn. Whew. Okay, today is the day for a new friendship or relationships. There is a new vulnerability that is expanding you into a much more emotionally open place. This is a very fun day. From this moment forward, things are really starting to move in the signs and in the houses, and so this makes you focus on working very hard and generating public displays of what you want to do in the world. So go ahead, get out there and see what will happen. On June 17th, Saturn forms a relationship with the moon in Leo. This is the day to impress others. It's great for presenting and job interviews. Your bubbly energy really makes you very attractive and charming to others. On June 18th, Neptune goes retrograde until November 24th. And Neptune retrograde can cause a distortion in the reality. Uncontrolled imagination and daydreaming are some problems you can face over these next 5 months. Neptune likes being in Pisces and is perfectly comfortable there. It believes in manifestation through spirituality. Let your mind explore your dreams and begin to manifest there first. It is time to manifest who you really want to become. Let go of the external gratification and satisfaction and instead move towards inner understanding. It is a great day for a dream board about how you see yourself and how you want to be presented to the world. Ignore the practical for a moment, but go towards the dream and whatever you can. Know that it will be hard and know that you will have to make a real effort to get what you want. There's no easy door here. On June 19th, the moon is in Virgo, and it's really going to allow you to download the muses to help you manifest that dream. On June 20th, there is a grand cross appearing in the chart. It connects the sun, the moon, Black Moon Lilith, and Saturn in Capricorn, and Uranus in Aries. And you may find it effortless today to find connections and make really good new friends. It's a perfect day to find new and solid long-term relationships, so don't let the ego stop you from going to a party or make you doubt yourself and feel like you're not good enough to be with them. So be careful wandering around in cars and things where you are moving, because it's sort of like so much energy that it can overwhelm your energy field, and sometimes this is where accidents happen. Or I always say watch for the stupid people, or watch for the unconscious people that are a little ungrounded in the reality. Now on June 21st, the sun enters Cancer. Venus is in Leo, opposite Mars in Aquarius, and the desire to socialize is really strong, but you want to get to work based on the feeling. It may feel like the universe is slapping you on the wrist. You may want to take care of others, but there could be a situation where those that feed off others will target you, so don't allow that to happen by keeping your eyes open. On June 22nd, it's a great day for new relationships, but do not compromise your values and ideals to do it. Look at codependency issues that you might still be carrying. You have a greater value than that which others have projected on you in the past. Sometimes you have to let others go in order to find your new spiritual family that sees your inner potential rising and those that want to support that growth. On June 23rd, Mercury in Cancer, opposite Pluto in Capricorn, Sun in Cancer, sextile Uranus in Taurus, Moon conjuncting Jupiter in Scorpio. If you listen to your feelings, you will be able to express your spiritual values and ideas. This is a moment that is about coming together and becoming more cohesive. It is a time to bring the world together for the greater good. On June 24th, Mercury trines Scorpio rising. This is a breakthrough day. It is a day that you finally understand the next step you need to take. You will understand others on a soul level, and that changes the depth of the relationship. On June 25th, Venus in Leo squares Jupiter in Scorpio, and that's another grand trine with Chiron in Aries, the moon in Sagittarius, the North Node, and Venus in Leo. This is a day to explore and let go of the past, to fill up your life with more positive energy. It's a great time for love, and know that you're here to feel the love coming at you, so really take that in. On June 26th, Mars retrograde in Aquarius until August 27th. You have to remember that no man is an island. You'll need to increase your team spirit on the inside. So Mars is the masculine principle of life, and as such, it is the energy of gumption and drive. So when Mars goes retrograde, it makes you feel a little bit flat and dulled. You will feel like you don't have as much energy to put into things, and this is all about channeling your energy into the unmanifest things in your life. And if you do that during this time, you will find a door that you really need. This is a really good time to start a meditation ritual, a spiritual path, or anything that is inward seeking, anything that aligns you with you, and you probably can stick to it a little bit better during this period. So Mars is usually selfish. It is driving you to look out for you and to make you and your spiritual progression the priority. June 27th, there is a T-square with the Sun in Cancer opposite Saturn in Capricorn. The Sun in Cancer opposite the Moon in Capricorn. And then it finishes with Chiron in Aries. So this makes working under pressure an important quality and skill to utilize. So don't take things personally in the business relationships, and keep the bigger picture in mind. You might feel guilty that you are not good at relationships and you need to work more in that area. Perhaps you just need to focus and get your energy into a place that your relationship feels your heart more deeply. We're getting close to the end. I know this is long. On June 28th, the full moon in Capricorn, illuminated by the sun in Cancer. You will look at how you can set goals and how you can reach those goals. It is practical and pragmatic during this time of June. On June 29th, Mercury enters Leo. You need to express yourself and really know how to promote your ideas. Leo is confident and speaks like a leader who knows what is needed and how to accomplish it. There is a part of you that wants to be on center stage and draw attention to yourself this day. On June 30th, we're there. Mercury in Leo square Uranus in Taurus. There's also another grand trine. At the end of the month, there is a wonderful, beautiful opportunity to heal. You get to see what your hopes and dreams are for the future. This is a great time for a vision board and to manifest that new reality by putting the thought out into the universe through the board. So now, I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank everybody for tuning into my YouTube channel. I have more information, but I figured this was a long enough video about each of the individual signs for the month of June. You can check that out in my blogs, on my website, or on my Facebook pages. Again, those pages are SuzWagner.com, SuzanneWagner.com, and obviously Facebook under Suzanne Wagner. I have a fan page there. So thanks, everybody. You take care. Bye.